looking for the sports channel, Gary.
Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so the Online Safety Act. We've discussed this on multiple videos, and yeah, it came into force because it was just always going to. And its pretext is to protect youngsters and adults from the dangers of online harm. Okay, so there is certain things we all have to agree that don't need to be on the internet. And you know, this is where the blurring of free speech occurs, where no one's really too sure where it lies or how it lies. But we all know there are moral and ethical grounds where there are lines you can cross, and those lines, when crossed, really shouldn't be on the internet. I think we can all agree to that. There is some really harmful crap out there, but it is what it is. Now, there's two sections which are very important. One of them is about people who send you death threats, and the fact that you can end up in prison for up to 5 years doing that, which is okay, fair enough. And I think we can all agree that anyone who sends messages threatening to kill somebody else over something stupid is the right thing to do. Although the quite interesting thing about it all is the fact that if you use that to try and get money out of somebody, then you know, as in to back up a bill or something like that, as long as you can prove it's justifiable, it's okay. So we create a law that's to do one thing, and then water itself down by saying, well, you can do it if you do it this way. But the other one is false information, and it's an act now. You can get arrested and charged with this offence. And basically what it is it's basically, there is such a thing now as a false news law. Now, the best thing about all this, what I'm going to cover, is there are exemptions, and they're very interesting exemptions, and ones that will probably make you raise an eyebrow, maybe even have a little chortle to yourself in a non-surprised way. So basically what it is you can go and be arrested for this if you transmit a message in whichever form that is false. Although who decides what's false or not? But we already know where this is going, but let's go on. And you had the intention to mislead a person with said false information, which can cause emotional or somehow physical harm. Now, who's to decide what's false? Who's to decide whether or not you knew it was false at the time of sending the message? And how is it possible to say that that particular thing that you broadcast caused emotional or even physical harm? There's a lot of grey areas there, because it's all dependent on who decides and what they decide is false or going to cause harm, or whether when you sent it you believed it already, knew it was to be false, and you were doing it on purpose, even though in reality you could be just doing what I do on YouTube and many others, which is reporting information that's available on the basis that at that moment in time you thought it to be true. See, it's very dodgy ground. Now, if charged, this can lead up to 51 weeks in prison and or a fine. But the best thing is unlike at the moment where you can basically take it to a court which has got a jury, yeah? This one will only ever be dealt with by magistrates. So there will be no jury, no 12 men and women of pure thought who will look at what's happened and gone, you're talking out your backside there. So in reality, it will be down to a magistrate to decide whether the story was true or not. So whether you did it falsely, whether you knew it was false at the time, whether you did it deliberately knowing it was false, and whether or not you deliberately wanted to cause people harm, or it caused the classic one, emotional harm. That's right, you can cause emotional harm by a message. So you can see, I'm sure, as well as everybody else, which is why everybody kept saying and going on about the Online Safety Act is a bad thing. But as with everything else in the United Kingdom, most people couldn't give a shit. Most people, because they're sheeple, see it's to protect children, and therefore it's good. We won't read into any of it. A lot of free speech proponents were, even I said, this is going to curtail free speech. No, it's not. It's just to protect kids. The usual line, bullshit as always. But now there is actually a law that prevents you from spreading false news. And the definition of false news is one given to you by magistrates who, let's be brutally honest, if you look at what happened to the sentencing of the Southport people and those who still do get done for spicy tweets and Facebook posts, you know full well you're going to go to jail. And it's whatever they deem as a false. And whether they deem it that you meant it and you knew it was false at the time and you did it on purpose to spread misinformation. It's a law. And it's up to 51 weeks in prison. And of course, the first few people who get done with it will absolutely get the book thrown at them. So you'll be getting the jails slowly but steadily filling up with people who reported something thinking it was true at the time. And then it turned out to be false because somebody said it was a false narrative, usually the government or the media or both. And that's you 51 weeks in prison. And obviously then all the associated issues of having a criminal record because you'll have actually served time in prison for false news. You literally couldn't make it up. Except, of course, sorry, I got stuff in my eye. Except, of course, they have made it up. It's a real thing. So, you may think, well, okay, that's good in some respects. But, of course, the exemptions. If you're a news agency or a known media organisation, you can't get prosecuted under that. If you run a cinema for some unknown reason, you can't get done for that. If you're a known journalist, you can't get done for it. So it's basically protecting the mainstream media and crippling everybody else. What wonderful times we live in, eh, ladies and gentlemen? Any case, 2 videos coming up at the end of this. One will be the last one uploaded. The other one will be the chosen one. The one that God's YouTube with the mighty algorithm selected just for you. You agree with what I'm saying? Like what I'm doing? Hit the subscribe button. You can like, you can share, you can let me know what you think in the adult comment section. And I mean adult, you can act like a child. It's the playroom and the stickle bricks for you. Boys, don't forget, you can do the usual if you want to support the channel. Link to the PayPal, buy me a Ko-fi, and there's a merchandising shop which you can go and pop to. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So